The absorption of a heavenly flame, of course, greatly increases an expert's strength, especially a flame of a high ranking. For example, the Sea Heart Flame did not significantly raise Xiao Yan's level, but it did increase the power of the Annihilation Lotus, which now consisted of 5 true types of heavenly flame. But the Purifying Lotus Demonic Flame was a completely different matter. It ranked 3rd in the heavenly flame ranking. Its might was truly immense. Thus, within the sealed space created by the Saint of the Purifying Lotus, Xiao Yan's group encountered the enormous power of this heavenly flame. It was extremely cunning, and moreover, it controlled flame slaves, a total of 10 saints. The strongest 4-star saints joined forces and entered a fierce battle. Among them were Ziyan, the Hall of Souls chief, as well as elders of the Gu, Yao, Lei, and Shi clans. It must be said, they failed. More precisely, the flame allowed itself to be captured and even sealed with a certain purpose. Only when the ancestor of the Pill Tower arrived did the Purifying Lotus Demonic Flame reveal its true strength. It turned out that it could control the very formation that had been established by the Saint of the Purifying Lotus. Imagine that power, a saint who had been only a step away from Do Di. Naturally, everyone rushed to flee. Xiao Yan ordered Gu Suner and the others to leave the flame space immediately. However, the flame detonated the spatial passage, and no one could escape. They tried to fight. The ancestor of the Pill Tower at 6 stars and the Hall of Souls chief acted together, because the lives of everyone in that space were at stake. The Purifying Lotus Demonic Flame went berserk. Purification. Terrifying attacks moved toward Xiao Yan's group and the Hall of Souls chief's group. From the sky, the Purifying Lotus Demonic Flame watched as the flame spread for hundreds of kilometers from the point of collision. It laughed loudly. Now no one would be able to stop it. Saint of the Purifying Lotus, did you think you could destroy me this way? I am a divine creation, and the world itself protects me. The Purifying Lotus Demonic Flame went mad. After thousands of years of imprisonment, it would finally escape. However, its laughter suddenly stopped. Still alive? How? The pale cream-colored flame in the sky paled further upon seeing a small barrier of light. Xiao Yan stood at its very center. The founder of the Elixir Tower, the experts of the Hall of Souls, and the others had not received any injuries or serious wounds. The barrier of light had managed to block the attack of a 6-star saint. Something strange had happened to Xiao Yan. While the others were in confusion, Gu Suner turned toward Xiao Yan, who seemed to have lost consciousness. However, a dim light emanated from his body, taking the shape of an illusory figure resembling the flame itself. This is not the Purifying Lotus Demonic Flame. This is the Saint of the Purifying Lotus. The founder of the Elixir Tower stared at Xiao Yan in shock. Why had this almighty expert, who was rumored to have died several thousand years ago, suddenly appeared over Xiao Yan and taken possession of his body? Xiao Yan, whose eyes were closed, suddenly trembled. The next moment he opened them, but his pupils had changed to a pale cream color. He looked at everyone present. Whoever he gazed upon felt an urge to bow before him. The Saint of the Purifying Lotus was known as the one who had come closest to the level of a god. Who would have thought that he would manifest again, inhabiting Xiao Yan? Of course, this was connected to the ancient map that Xiao Yan had found and assembled from all its fragments. It linked Xiao Yan to the Saint of the Purifying Lotus. Since he intervened and saved everyone, his goal must be connected to the Purifying Lotus Demonic Flame. The founder of the Elixir Tower replied. Xiao Yan, whose body was controlled by the Saint of the Purifying Lotus, waved his sleeve, and the barrier around them disappeared. His eyes met the flame's gaze. It was no less astonished than all the experts. Saint Master, how is this possible? Why are you still alive? But he answered the flame, it seems you still failed to quell your rage even after so many years of imprisonment. They entered into battle. Soon after, Xiao Yan opened a passage and ordered everyone to leave. The energy within the space was evaporating due to the power of the Purifying Lotus Demonic Flame. If they remained, only one fate awaited them: incineration. Even Ziyan was not certain that she could rely on her Do Qi to withstand the terrifying temperature of the Purifying Lotus Demonic Flame. That was why everyone had to leave this damned space as quickly as possible if they wished to survive. Most of them did not think about anything else and immediately rushed toward the spatial tunnel. "Young miss, you must also hurry and leave," said Elder Gu Nanhai, addressing Sooner. The space was far too dangerous. "But Xiao Yan," the girl frowned. She looked at Xiao Yan, who seemed to be completely under the control of the Saint of the Purifying Lotus. Who could guarantee that he would not do something harmful to the young man once they left? Gu Sooner was extremely worried about Xiao Yan. But the elder grabbed Gu Sooner by the hand and rushed toward the spatial tunnel. Yao Lao cast one more glance at Xiao Yan, who still stood amid the flame, but in the end he clenched his teeth and fled as well. An indescribable feeling flared in Gu Sooner's heart. She felt that Xiao Yan simply needed her. She bit her lip, then pulled her hand free from Gu Nanhai's grip. Touching the elder's palm, she pushed him toward the spatial tunnel. Such a reaction stunned the old man. Therefore, he failed to react in time. He fell into the tunnel and disappeared. As soon as Yao Lao vanished, the spatial tunnel disappeared as well. In the world of flame remained only Xiao Yan under the control of the Saint of the Purifying Lotus, Gu Sooner, and the flame itself. "Xiao Yan, this time I will be with you." Only the Saint of the Purifying Lotus held authority over this flame as its former master. He had discovered it as a flame essence and nurtured it, but it gained intelligence and became cruel. "I alone am responsible for what you have become, so allow me to end everything. I will remove the intelligence and memory I left within you. In the future, you will become as pure as when I first met you." He separated the pure original Purifying Lotus from its mind, memory, and intelligence. In the end, above the fiery lotus appeared a bloody human figure, the same one Xiao Yan and the others had seen upon arriving here. The bloody figure attempted to descend and forcefully return into the lotus's body. However, the saint did not give it that opportunity. He merely clenched his palm, and the barrier sharply contracted. "Master, please, release me. I will surely change in the future." The Purifying Lotus demonic flame trembled, but the lotus could not escape the dome of flame. It was incapable of fighting against the saint, so it knelt before him and begged for mercy. The Saint of the Purifying Lotus sighed. He waved his sleeve, and his illusory silhouette left Xiao Yan's body. He drifted into the prison of flame and stood directly before the Purifying Lotus demonic flame. "Xiao Yan." Sooner immediately flew over and caught Xiao Yan when the saint left his body. Xiao Yan had not lost consciousness. His soul had been suppressed by the Saint of the Purifying Lotus. Therefore, he had seen everything and immediately asked, "Why didn't you leave?" Gu Sooner was relieved after confirming that Xiao Yan was fine. They watched in astonishment as the events unfolded outside. The Purifying Lotus demonic flame was far too evil. "We will disappear from this world forever. Together." After the final word, two masses of flame suddenly crashed into one another. But they merely transformed into an extremely concentrated light and shot toward the dome of flame. Xiao Yan grabbed Sooner by the waist and unfolded his wings the moment he sensed the overwhelming intent of destruction. He swiftly retreated. A storm swept through the space. In the midst of the sea of magma, a black spatial crack formed, several hundred meters thick. When they stopped, they saw before them an empty area. The Purifying Lotus demonic flame and the Saint of the Purifying Lotus had completely disappeared. It seemed that the explosion had simply split them apart. "Where is the demonic flame essence?" Xiao Yan whispered, looking around. Could it be that the Purifying Lotus demonic flame had been destroyed in the explosion? And if so, did that mean he had merely wasted his time trying to obtain this flame? Damn it! Xiao Yan cursed in disappointment. He had been gathering the fragments of the map for more than a decade in order to obtain this heavenly flame. Would the result truly be like this? Xiao Yan, look. Gu Sooner suddenly pointed joyfully toward the magma world. Xiao Yan looked in that direction, and his heart began to pound violently. On the surface of the magma floated a white lotus covered with pink spots. The energy of the entire magma sea seemed to be absorbed by the lotus. The demonic flame essence. Xiao Yan involuntarily trembled when he saw the pale cream lotus with pink patches before him. The next step was to absorb it. But Xiao Yan could not manage it alone. Gu Sooner helped him. We will examine that separately in another video. Thus, only after 2 years did Xiao Yan succeed. What level of strength did he reach? Before absorption, he had been at the level of a 2-star saint of the intermediate stage. The next time I meet the Hall of Souls chief again, he will not cause me so much trouble. Xiao Yan smiled faintly. Extreme confidence was contained within his voice. The benefits he obtained from the purifying Lotus demonic flame were incomparably enormous. Based on his feelings, his strength should have already reached the level of a 5-star saint of the initial stage. He leaped across 3 stars, from a 2-star saint of the intermediate level. Such a great increase in strength even caused Xiao Yan to feel some disbelief. As a saint, he clearly understood how difficult it was to raise one's strength at the saint level. Under normal circumstances, it would have taken him several decades to increase his strength so much. This time, he used the purifying Lotus demonic flame to reinforce his power. In the entire world, the only spiritual object that possessed the incredible ability to raise a saint's strength by 3 stars was likely this 3rd-ranked heavenly flame. This was truly a legendary event. It was precisely after becoming a 5-star saint that he continued his adventures. For example, his meeting with the heavenly demon Phoenix Chief and the second battle with the Northern Dragon King. That is why this increase in strength was so important. What do you think? The flame ranked number 3 in the ranking granted 3 full stars at once. Is that a good result or not? Write in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and see you next time.